Welcome to Pineapple, Alabama. It's got to be one of the best welcome signs that you'll ever see. Pineapple, what an unusual name. You would think that it would be from the pineapple fruit, but if you notice, it's spelled with two words, pineapple, and that's because there were both pine and apple trees, and that's how it eventually got its name. It was originally called Friendship, which is not a normal name either, but there was a Friendship church in the 15 to 1820 range, and so the original area was called Friendship. But there was already another town named Friendship when they went to incorporate it, and so they decided to name it Pineapple. And it's a really great little town. Cotton was the main industry down here, and then as that started to wane, timber became something that people could get jobs down here for. And then in the 1960s, the bank closed. There's actually, the bank building is right here in the downtown. So the bank closed, and then schools closed and other businesses started closing, and then the population went down considerably. It went down from a high in the 600s all the way down to in the 100s. And the last couple of census have been about the same, in the mid 100 range. And I was actually, as I was walking around, the postmaster was getting ready to deliver the mail, and he stopped and we talked a little bit, and he was talking about how many people are buying houses in this area from out of state because of how inexpensive it is compared to other parts of America. And it's really, really beautiful, that's for sure. And there's a lot of cool things to see around Pineapple, Alabama. So Victoria is not a unusual name for a town, but we're here because of what this town used to be named. And the original name of it was Smut Eye. And Smut Eye was the first post office from 1850 to 1853. And it was called that because there would be men that would gather around a fire at the local store, and their faces would get black from the smoke and the fire, and their faces will be just looking like smut, and so it was called Smut Eye. So then they changed the name to Busbyville, so another different name. There was a guy named the last name Busby, and so that was the name of the town from 1853 to 1868, and it would have been called Busbyville during the Civil War. And actually there was a man here named John Canty Brown who organized a regiment that fought at the Battle of Bull Run and the Battle of Gettysburg. And finally it was named Victoria after a local woman with the first name Victoria, and it was post office from 1868 till 1927. And today, as you visit Victoria, it feels pretty much like a ghost town. There's some abandoned buildings here in the center of the town. There's certainly houses and there's people that live here. There's a big nice church and cemetery here. So there's still some people living here. Not sure how many people call their home Smut Eye, if they were to say where they're from, but it's definitely a interesting name to say the least. I'm here at basically the intersection of the downtown of Two Egg, Florida. One of the great names, just across the border from Alabama, just a few miles just south. And Two Egg, the way it got its name, there's a couple different stories about it. One was that there was in the Depression, there would be families that would bring eggs to trade, instead of money, and that a family would bring 2 eggs and they could get sugar for 2 eggs. So there's different stories as to how the name Two Egg came about, but there's not a ton of information about the town. Faye Dunaway apparently grew up in a house near here. Her address was Bascom because that's the nearest town up here, Bascom, and that's because there was no post office here. And but yeah, apparently she grew up here near or in Two Egg. Today there's not much. There's just some houses. There is a church and a cemetery, and some houses, and just you wouldn't know it except for they do have a road sign on the side of the road that lets you know you're here. So I was over there flying my drone, and then kind of looked back through the woods, and there's something like an old building back there. Does Two Egg have an old building in the woods? I didn't think there was anything to find in Two Egg, but check that out. Kind of don't want to go in there, but I kind of do. That's kind of weird. Is it a church? Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna get out of here. Oh yeah, probably a church. So maybe this was the original church, and now we got the newer church right there.